Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you may be watching this video. This is my very first video in my series of Different. I have decided that I'm going to do a series of videos called Different, and each time I post a video, it will be something different. So today, the first thing, if it's something different between South Africa and England, and please, this is a disclaimer, this is not South Africa bashing, this is not England bashing, it's just, I'm trying to do a video series to possibly help those who have immigrated. Things are a bit different, and maybe you just need to watch this video for whatever reason. Anyway, this video is my very first one in the series. It's about schools, and it's episode 1. I'm going to be as concise and precise and accurate as possible. I'm going to try my very best to get to the point as quickly as possible. There is a lot of information that I have gone through, researched, and done. And then what I have done is I've tried to put it all together and tried to get it as accurate and as shortened version as possible. And I will do my best to be quick and precise and to the point so that this video doesn't go on forever. Because the first time I ever did this video, it took me 40 minutes. And I know nobody wants to sit around for 40 minutes listening to me talk. Okay, so first of all, let's just get started with the disclaimer because I don't want to get into trouble. Firstly, all the things that I'm about to talk about happened in the county of Kent. That is where we live. It happened during COVID, November 2020. And the steps that the advice or whatever you want to take it, I'm giving is purely my experience. I'm not a teacher. I'm not at school anymore. Thank goodness. So yes, whatever I'm saying here, it's just our experience, and I hope that it will help you in some way or another. If you find anything that I'm saying that isn't accurate or isn't the same in your county, then I do apologize. And I hope that as much as I'm giving this advice, as much as I'm doing this video and giving this advice, that you will understand that it is just a personal experience. So let's get on with the video. And I do have notes down here so that I don't ramble off on a tangent. I've got notes, so I'm trying to keep to the point. So first and foremost, when you arrive in England or Scotland or Wales, wherever you may be living, your first thing that you need to do is you need to find out the area that you live in. I'm obviously not going to say the area that we live in because of privacy reasons. You find that out, and then you will go on to Google and you will Google schools near me. You then contact those schools via phone or email, whatever they say, whatever their website says, rather go according to that. I phoned the schools. And then you've got to ask for something called an in-year form. You then have to tell them how old your child is. Now, this is just something that we've learned firsthand. We have 3 daughters. 2 of them are now finished school, and our youngest, who is now going into year 4 in September, you have to tell them how old your child is, because here in England, how old your child is how old they are, and their birth date dictates what year they go into. So for example, when we got here, Leah was 6 years old. They said she had to be in year 2, despite the fact that in South Africa she was in grade R. So they will tell you how old your child, due to the birth date and their age, what year they need to be in. So just remember that your child may skip. Our twins, who are much older, they were turning 16 in the December. They were told they were going into year 11. Now in South Africa they had been in grade 10. So it just depends on their age and their birth date. So that's just something to remember. So when you're talking to the schools, just say to them, my child's birthday is this, and they are X years old. What year should they be going into? remember, they know you are South African. They know that the South African school system is different. So they obviously will say, your child needs to go to year X, Y, and Z. Okay. Once you receive the in-year forms, you have to print them out, fill in all the details, and then send it back to the relevant schools. Now, if what happened to us is happening to you and the schools in your area are at capacity, you then contact the council. You contact your county council, like ours is Kent. There will be a tab on the website where it will say education or school or whatever it says. You click on there and you email the relevant people, because majority of them have emails. Some have phone numbers if you want to phone, but majority of them have emails. I then emailed the council and said, good day, my name is X, Y. We have 3 daughters. This is the year, this is their name, their birth date, and the year they're supposed to be in. This school is at capacity. Can you help me with some other suggestions? They then come back to you with a list of all the schools that have spaces for the relevant year. So, funny enough, our twins, Casey and Hannah, they got in straight away to one of the nearest secondary schools, in the area. Our youngest, we had to contact the council because there was just no available spots for her in the primary schools in our area. They came back with some suggestions for me. So what you can do with regards to the suggestions, before you phone, before you apply, you can have a look at each school's website on the internet. And each school's website has a Ofsted rating. So the Ofsted rating will be good, excellent, etc., whatever. The school that Leah's at, I think their Ofsted rating is good, but it is a very nice school. Anyway, I then sent away to all the relevant schools with this in-year form, saying that there was no, stating name, child's age, etc., all the details that they needed with the in-year form attached, and I got replies fairly quickly. We chose the school for Leah and we sent back, they accepted her, and that was pretty much it. Once she had been accepted, I had to reply back with an email saying with my husband's passport, my passport, her birth certificate, her passport, just all the things in general that they need to know, and a utility bill. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why a utility bill? It's very simple. It's just to see what area you live in. But again, I had contacted the council because none of the schools in our area had a space for her. So they know straight away she is at the school because we've had to go further out and the council suggested the school to her. So yes, we did have to give a utility bill. Then they contacted me and said, fantastic, we would like her to start on the 4th of January 2021. But as we all know, and times have gone past, she didn't actually get to go to school until March 2021. Because of COVID, schools got closed, we did online schooling, we got logins, all those kind of things, and we were all very prepared for her to go to school. We had gone and bought the uniforms. I'll get to uniforms in a moment. But unfortunately, schools had to be closed. So I had to do a lot of online schooling with her, which I really did battle with because I'm not being funny, but her grade R, what she'd been taught, and now suddenly year 2 was this huge jump. And I contacted this class teacher straight away and I said, look guys, she doesn't know these things. And they said, look, just try and help her as much as you can, and we will help her once she goes back into school. Which I did. I did my best to help her. I did my best to do all the subjects with her. We did online classes. She got to meet her full class on Zoom, things like that. So, I did what I could. Then once it was time to go to school, actually go to the classroom, and we went and we now needed to buy uniforms. So what you need to know about the uniforms is the school that your child will be going to should have a website where you can order the uniform. But just the uniform with the badges. So for example, her cardigans, her tracksuit top, her what they call a fleece, it's like a jacket with a zip, all of those kind of things. I think even her school bag, her PE shirts, things like that, all come from this website. But then you get the other uniforms, like you get grey. So it's mainly grey, and you get sorry, I'm just looking here. Trousers, skirts, pinafores, and tights that are grey. You also get some that are black or navy. Every school has a different color scheme, and they will tell you what the color scheme is. Then you go and purchase those sorts of things, the pinafores, the tights, the trousers, the skirts, and little summer dresses as well. The summer dresses are all different check colors, but your school will tell you what color check they have. And those kinds of things you can buy at the supermarkets. You can also buy them at Asda Living, Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Marks and Spencer's, Morrison's. Those kind of places all have the grey or navy blue or black clothes, like I've said. They have the little summer dresses, they have hair accessories, they have bobby socks, they have little short socks for like PE days when they need to wear their trainers. They're not tackies, they're trainers. You know, things like that. So you can buy some of the uniform in your supermarkets and grocery shops. Some of the stuff you'll need to order it online from the school's uniform shop. So like I said, we did order her school bag off there because it has the school name, and it's only 40 centimeters, so it's not too heavy on her little back, things like that. So you will get a list from the school of uniforms that they need. If you don't, phone the receptionist, say, please may I have a list of the uniforms that are needed, and they should give you a list of all the uniforms that are needed, and they will give you the website where you can order the clothes from. Okay, sorry, I watched that other, I just watched the first section that I've done, and I can hear the tumble dryer in the background. I'm so sorry. I've gone and turned it off. Let's continue. Okay, so like I was saying, all you need to do is contact the school, ask them for the uniform list. Certain things will need to be ordered off the school's uniform website, and some things can be bought in your supermarkets and your big shops, like I said, like Tesco, Sainsbury's, Marks and Spencer's, Morrison's, Asda Living, things like that. And of course, they are all, the school will give you the color scheme. So if you need black, navy, or gray, and then normally in South Africa, and I know our kids in South Africa used to wear tracksuits in winter. The girls here in England, when it gets really cold, they normally wear their tights and trousers and things like that. So trousers are not just limited to boys, things like that. You know, you just go and buy whatever your child needs. I've even seen little girls wearing little grey shorts at Leah's school. So it doesn't matter, you can wear, as long as the uniform looks smart. It doesn't matter if girls wear shorts and trousers and things like that. And then, like I mentioned, you also get the little summer dresses, and your school will tell you what the color scheme is for those little summer dresses. Leah's school has a blue and white check, and it's very cute. And you can also, some you can even buy with the matching scrunchie. And like I say, you also can buy the hair accessories, the bobby socks, things like that, all at your shops like that. So that's the uniform. Now, for the first time since Leah has been at her school, we got asked to buy stationery this year. Now, I do not have a problem at all with buying stationery. To me, it's not a bad thing. And those of you, who are watching from South Africa, we have to buy stationery for our kids in South Africa. When the twins went into high school, the amount of money that we had to spend on stationery, textbooks, school books was huge. We haven't been asked to buy a lot of stationery. We've been asked to buy pencil, pen, eraser, sharpener, glue, ruler, pencil bag, and colored pencils. Oh, and something called a purple brio, which is a purple pen. I had to ask the lady in the shop what that is, but it's a purple big pen. So yes, all the kids have to well, all the kids in Leah's school were asked to get that, and I can't complain. I mean, we weren't even asked to buy so much as a notebook other than the stationery, so I was not at all upset about that. And we were at Asda Living. We bought majority of the stationery there while we were buying her a few extra bits of uniform because she had outgrown some of her uniform. So there are some schools in the United Kingdom that will ask you to buy stationery. Some might not. So it's just it just depends on what school your child goes to. And you will get a list from the school of the stationery that they need. Then the school that your child goes to will probably have a parent app. Now the parent apps are wonderful. All the communication comes through the app and email. So I get a message via email and I get a message on the app. Same email, same everything. It's just so that you can communicate with the school if you need to. And on the school app, you get to book your parents' evening. So they'll send out an email saying, we're having a parents' evening. Please log on to the parent app and book your time slot. It is fantastic. It is so much easier than trying to juggle with all the other parents at the parents' evening. It's quick and done, and you get your 10-15 minutes with the teacher and they can have a chat with you. Next is school fees. Now, Leah's school that she's at is, we don't pay school fees. We don't. And when I was trying to find her a place at one of the other schools, I said, do you pay school fees there? And the lady went, no, ma'am. This is not a private school. So I'm not saying it's limited to only private schools. Some schools may charge you school fees, but our school where Leah is, and also for the short time that Casey and Hannah were at their secondary school, we didn't pay school fees there either. So not a lot of schools charge school fees, but I do stand corrected on that. I am again here only speaking from our experience. Next is transport. So once your child is at school, you've bought the stationery, you've bought the school uniform, your child is now going to start school, you have a decision about transport. So your child can catch the bus, your child can ride their bike, your child can walk, or if you want to, you can drive them to school in your car. Now, with regards to the bus, if your child is going to be taking the bus, you need to find out what bus stop is closest to your house and what bus stop is closest to the school, what times the bus goes there. You need to get a bus pass, you need to make a query, you need to find out how much it's going to cost, etc. I'm not too sure on price wise with regards to school and bus because none of our girls went by bus. Okay, bikes, if your child is going to be riding a bike to school, they need a helmet. It is important and it is safety. Get a helmet for your child, and you need to get a chain for their bike so that while their bike is at school, it can be chained up. With regards to walking, if your child is going to be walking to school in summertime, sunscreen and a hat. And then of course in the rain, you need to get them a raincoat that's not too thick, just enough to protect them from the rain in summer. And then as the weather gets more and more cold, you need to get them a proper coat, beanies, gloves, scarves, and make sure that the coat is weather resistant, like snow and water resistant, so that they're not getting cold because the rain is going into their jacket, into their big coat for winter. And then if you are going to take your child to school by car, make sure you can't put into consideration traffic. In South Africa, I drove all three of our girls to school every day, and I knew the traffic was bad, and I knew what time was busy, and I knew what time to leave home. I knew what time I would get to the school if I left at that time, and it's the same here. When it's raining or very, very cold, I drive Leah to school because we actually normally walk, but when it's very cold or rainy, I drive her to school, and I know I have to leave home at 8. To be at the school. I normally get to school about 8:15, but at least I'm early and I can get a parking, because that is another thing. Parking outside schools, oof, it's hard going. So make sure that you and just remember that some of the schools are in a like suburb near a neighborhood, near houses. Don't park in the person's driveway. There's make sure you park nicely so that others can park and so that you're not parked in somebody's driveway. That is just something to remember with the car. Now, obviously, the start and finish times in England are a bit different. In South Africa, we used our schools, majority of our schools started at 7:30 and would end at about 2:15, 2:30. When Casey and Hannah were in high school in South Africa, I think some days it even would finish closer to 3 o'clock. But here in England, like I keep talking about Leah's school, but Casey and Hannah actually finished school, so we no longer have school times for them. But Leah's school starts at 8:40 and finishes at 3:10. So you obviously, if you are a working parent and you start before that time, you are going to need to put your child into breakfast club. Breakfast club at Leah's school, I think it either opens at 7 or 7:30, I'm not sure. And the after school club goes on till either 5:30 or 6, I'm not too sure. We've never had to put her into breakfast club or after school club because I, for now, am a stay-at-home mom, so I haven't actually had to use breakfast club or after school club. And both of those do cost you a fee. If you need to use them, you need to just contact your school and find out, well, the school your child is at, and find out what the price is per day, per week, per month. Obviously, if you only work certain days of the week and you only need them to go certain days of the week, then they will give you a bill for that amount. And you need to obviously speak to them when you're enrolling your child, because then there needs to also be a space at the breakfast club or after school club. Obviously, like I say, I've never used them, so we're not too sure. But just remember that the starting and finishing times here in England are very different to South Africa. And school dinners. Now, when Leah was in year 2, she got school dinners every day as part of, we weren't charged for them. When she went into year 3, we got given a letter from the catering company, and we had an account already set up for us. And what happens is you go in, you put money in, and they then, X amount of money, and then she gets X amount of school meals. It tells you how many meals she can get for that amount of money. And we don't do it every day. She doesn't have school lunches every day. She has a packed lunch. She has school dinners on special days. Like, for example, last year in December, on the 15th of December, they had a Christmas lunch. We paid for her to have that. We paid for her to have the special Jubilee lunch for the Queen's 70th Jubilee. On the sports day, we paid for it, and just special days like that. And sometimes she'll say to me on a Friday, may I have fish and chips with my friends, and I'll make sure that there's money in her account so that she can have a school dinner. Then I just don't send a packed lunch. Now at Leah's school, it is a completely peanut free school. So you are not allowed to send peanuts or peanut butter sandwiches or anything like that at all. And I have been given a list of foods that are permitted, and I stick to that list, and I make sure that nothing gets sent to the school that is it's got nuts or peanuts or anything like that. So that, because I know you teach your children not to share, and I know that children are not supposed to share, but they are children, and accidents can happen. So rather stick to the permitted list of foods only. Okay. Then just something that I want to, just a few points of, just a few things that are different. When I say a school year is different, it is very different. In South Africa, our school years run like a calendar year, January to December. You have your big holidays in December. You have July holidays in the middle of the year, just to split up the year. So it's not like that here in England. In Britain or the United Kingdom, the school years run completely different. You start in September and you go right through to July. Now, obviously, there are holidays in between. Summer holidays, some of what they call a midterm half term. It just depends, and each term is approximately 6 weeks long. Okay, approximately, not down to the. And so, for example, in South Africa, we have 4 terms. We have January to whenever Easter is. Then we have from the end of Easter till June or July. That's when we have the July holidays. Then we have July to September, and then you have September holidays, and then you run from September, October to December when the year is over. Now, in the United Kingdom, it's not like that. They have 6 separate terms. I'm not sure on all of them, but like, for example, at Easter, Leah gets 2 weeks holiday. At Christmas, she gets about 2 weeks, a little bit more, a little bit more sometimes. And when the school breaks up for the holidays, they get given their start date. So they say children need to be back at school on this day. Same as in South Africa. I remember on my reports it used to say what day I was going back. So that's one of the differences. And yeah, of course, like I said, the holidays are different because summer here in England is sort of June, July, August. Summer in South Africa is December, January, February. So, of course, your summer holidays are going to be different. Of course, your longer holidays are going to be different. And that is why the school years run differently here in the United Kingdom to in South Africa. The other thing is that primary school and what they call, we say high school, they say secondary school. Primary school in South Africa runs from triple R to grade 7. Here in England, here in the United Kingdom, they run from what they call early years, which I imagine is like a grade R, to year 6 is primary school. And then in South Africa, high school is grade 8 to grade 12. Here in the United Kingdom, secondary school is year 7 to year 11. Now I'm going to get into more of that in a second. And I did mention it earlier when I was talking about when you're trying to find a school for your child. Remember, starting ages are very different here in the United Kingdom. It's anywhere between 4 and 5. In South Africa, it's 6 or 7. Like I said, when we moved here, Leah was 6 in grade R. They refused to let her start grade 1 in South Africa at 6 because they felt she was too young. So and I know South Africa keeps changing because when I was 5 turning 6, I started grade 1. So it all changes. But I'm not too sure on the starting age here in the United Kingdom. It depends on your child's birthday and how old they are. So just, you need to just check that with your school. Like I said, when you are applying to schools, just check with them what years, etc. And like I said before, Leah did skip. So please just take into consideration that your child may skip a couple of years, or they may skip some part of the, like Leah skipped year 1 or grade 1, whatever, completely when we moved here. But in saying that, the school that Leah is at, they have been fantastic with her. They have caught her up to exactly where her peers are. She is a little, I wouldn't say she's a bit behind, but she's catching up slowly, and her report was such a good report. She's trying really hard. She's doing really well. So that is, there probably will be a skip. So for now, that is what I want to say. I'm just gonna stop the video here. I will be back and I will be talking about year 11. So now let's talk about year 11. Now, the reason I have put this separately and at the end of the video is because I want to make sure that I am 100% correct with some of the things that I'm saying. And I don't want to mislead you or say something that is not 100% accurate. So, when we arrived here in England in November 2020, Casey and Hannah were 15. They were about to turn 16 in the December. When we were looking for a school, we very quickly found them a nice school here in the area that was close. They could walk to school. They got accepted, and then the head of the year head, which is equivalent to the HOD or the grade head, whatever, asked to see us. So we went and saw him, and he mentioned that, he had a look at their reports, and he was fairly confident that they could do year 11, because at the end of year 11, I think probably around May or June, they do the GCSEs. Now, I can't remember what GCSE stands for, but it is very similar to what I would imagine like matric. But then I was told the other day that A levels is matric, so I'm not sure. Okay, so anyway, they do these GCSE exams, and then they need to make another decision. So we decided that they would go to year 11, they would do the GCSEs, and they would do their absolute best that they could. The great and fantastic news is they both passed with good marks, and they were able then to move on to the next chapter. Now, what I can understand is that there is 3 avenues that your children can do once they are finished year 11 and they've done the GCSEs. They can go to sixth form. Now, some high schools have a sixth form. Some secondary schools have a sixth form. Some secondary schools don't. So then they would need to go to a different sixth form at a different school. And what I understand from the sixth form is they don't actually have to wear school uniform anymore. They're allowed to sort of dress in a more like as if they were going to college or to an apprenticeship job. They can dress like that. Okay. Some schools may make them wear the uniform. I'm not too sure on that one. Then they can go to college. Now, when I say college, I'm not talking about university like in America. I'm talking about college. College gives them a little bit of extra. They get like different courses. So whatever they want to do in life, they can go. Like, for example, if you want to be a beautician, you go and do the beauty course. If you want to be a hairdresser, you do the hairdressing course. If you want to be a vet or a person who trains animals and things like that, there are courses like that. I'm obviously not going to say too much, but one of Hannah, one of our twins, she chose to go to college. And then the last thing is an apprenticeship. Casey is doing an apprenticeship. And what happens is you apply to companies that are offering apprenticeships. They either accept you, or if they don't, then you have to try applying at other companies. And what happens with an apprenticeship, like with what Casey's doing, is she's going to work every day, doing a normal work day from X time to X time. She's getting paid a small salary, and she is able to study while doing the apprenticeship. Okay, so both of them are actually studying, but Casey's studying while working, and Hannah's going to college and studying. Hannah also has a part-time job. So she does her part-time job around her college hours, and they are encouraged to do that. The children who go to college are encouraged to have a part-time job, but it must not interfere with their studies or their school time. The other thing is that we were not sure on all the ins and outs about year 11 and what happens at the end of year 11. So we spoke to the year head, and we had a chat with him, and we said, what does he suggest? And he told us that these were the different avenues and whatever our daughters would like to do. So you also need a little bit of guidance from the school and from the year head. Speak to them, chat to them, talk to them, see what they say. If your child is over 16 or 17 and they are, say you immigrate when they are in matric in South Africa, I am not sure of that process, because like I mentioned at the beginning, when we arrived here, Casey and Hannah were in grade 10. They had been doing online schooling because of COVID, and they were in grade 10. But then they got pushed up to year 11. So just check with the school, ask them for guidance, say, what can we do? Speak to the year head, and make sure that you are, just see what they say. Like I said, if your child is 17 or over, whatever, I'm not sure on that process. I have no idea, because our daughters were 16 and they were able to still go to secondary school. I'm not too sure on that avenue. So you would need to again check with the secondary school, see what they say, maybe have a meeting and see, maybe your children can go to college, or they can go and do an apprenticeship or whatever. See what advice you are given by the school. So that wraps up pretty much everything that I wanted to say about the differences in school here in the United Kingdom and the differences in school in South Africa. Please, again, I just want to put in a disclaimer. This is personal experience. Some of the stuff I have researched, like I openly admitted just now, I'm not sure if your child is older, what the procedure is. You would need to chat to someone who is more knowledgeable on that. And please do remember that this happened in our county and it happened during COVID. So if the procedure is a bit different, please don't come at me and be mean to me in the comments. I am just giving you our personal experience. The other thing is, if you like this video, please give me a like. If you like me and you'd like to see more videos, please hit subscribe and please come back for more. And I will be posting the next video in the different series. I haven't decided which one it is just yet, but I really wanted to get this one up before school started in the United Kingdom, and I hope that this can help anybody. Please feel free to share this video to others if you know someone who's immigrating and they're a little bit confused with the school system and how it works. Please share. I'm also hoping to share this video to other places that I would like to share it to. So I hope that this video has been helpful. Please, if there's anything that you'd like to say, or if you are a parent whose child was above secondary school age and you came here and you can tell us, maybe give help in the comments, please comment down below and say what your procedure was. And just remember to say this is a personal experience, and just please comment down below if there's anything else. Maybe if I've left something out, please just comment down below. I'd be happy to try and answer questions if there are any. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for sitting through it to the end, and I hope you have a great day further. Bye.